Your agent says, let's do an open house, but all you remember is nosy neighbors and tire kickers, not offers. To be honest with you, it can create a higher net price for your house if you do it strategically. Our team strategically plans open houses for every one of our listings, and the data might surprise you. We'll look at the pros of doing an open house, also the cons of doing an open house, and we'll tell you how we strategically do it for our sellers and a story about how we netted one seller over $10,000 more for their house. Do you agree that open houses are beneficial for selling your home? Comment down below yes or no.
Here are some of the pros of hosting an open house, especially on a first weekend or you have the property coming soon and you're in a high traffic area. Open houses are really good. The big benefit is to be able to get as many people through the house as you possibly can in a short period of time to create that buzz and create that urgency for that house. Using social media tactics out there to push the open house and get it advertised, having correct photos when you are posting the open house and making sure the house is looking at its best when you're doing the advertising for it, and then also on that day of opening. It's going to bring the most amount of people you can get through the door in the first week of your house being on the market. That's why the open houses are so important early on, because that's generally you have the most eyes on that property. Here are some of the cons of doing an open house. The big one we see a lot of times in this industry is let's host the open house 2 weeks after it went on the market, and they missed that first initial upfront marketing time period where it's so important. Now, I'm not saying doing an open house later isn't bad, but especially if you're not getting traffic, adding an open house later on is good to kind of get a refresh on it, to get some people in the door to see what really feedback is. The other thing I kind of lean on, sometimes your feedback can be very vanilla at an open house. Sometimes it can be very good, but generally you're not always getting the direct positive feedback you would get from an individual showing. The number one con we see for sellers in an open house situation is they don't want their nosy neighbors through. But really, in reality, that is a good thing. They're coming out to check out the house of maybe they have a friend, maybe they have a family member that wants to come in and check out, or bring them into the neighborhood. So it's great to have them in there to be able to get their eyes on it, because they're going to tell their friends. And again, the more people you can get through your house is always better.
Here's how we use an open house strategically to benefit the seller. We actually have a story of a property that we listed here a few months ago, and it was on the market on a Friday. A showing came through. They wrote an offer on that property. There was no other scheduled showings for the rest of the weekend. Our agent did an open house where they had traffic through that open house. Another person that went through that open house that wasn't planning on seeing it otherwise ended up writing an offer. That offer then created multiple offers for that property and netted the seller over $10,000. Now, if there wasn't an open house right after the listing went live, would that buyer have went through? Would they have written an offer? Would this seller have gotten $10,000? So that's just a unique experience where when you do an open house strategically, when it's placed at the right time, when it's done for the right reasons by your agent, to go, this is going to get more traffic at the most important part. This isn't about me finding new buyers so I can have more clients. This is about the seller. And if it's focused in that direction with a good plan, it can be hugely beneficial for the sellers.
Are you considering selling your home in the near future or want to know more strategies on open houses? Text the number below and we'll reach out to you.